Once again, here we are. What is up here today, YouTube? Jigsaw0097 bringing you my post-game opinions, thoughts, whatever of this Philadelphia Eagles Seahawks game. I don't even know what the record is anymore. 6 straight wins for the Seattle Seahawks against us now. 6 or 7 at least. Like if the Eagles had a cursed team, it would be the Seattle Seahawks. They just can't beat them. Maybe the Saints to some extent too, but the Eagles have beat the Saints in the past. In fact, I think they beat them with Chip Kelly. But to my recollection, I don't think the Eagles have beaten the Seahawks since the McNabb era. So it's getting a little ridiculous. And this game, eerily similar to the last game. In fact, I think the final score was 17-9 yet again. So what we did learn is that this Eagles team and this Seahawks team are matched in a way where the Seahawks are just slightly ahead, at least as of this year, because we played them twice. That's basically like a division run against the Seahawks this year. If I had to, I'm not, as you guys can tell, I'm actually not really that mad. I've kind of been honest on here about where I really thought this team could go, and I was proud of Carson Wentz for getting them where they were, but I must talk about Wentz. I get that he got injured, whatever, but I really don't like the fact that he just went out of the game. And I don't know the protocol yet. That's why I'm not judging, and I'm going to make a video once they announce what's actually wrong with him. But, man, it's the playoffs, dude. You had freaking Zach Ertz playing with fractured ribs. I remember when Terrell Owens played with a broken leg in the Super Bowl. Like when you're in the playoffs, you don't just go out. And really, that's the biggest disappointment here, guys. It's like what I said before, The only reason to sacrifice draft picks was to give Wentz experience, and we didn't even get that. So this playoff game largely was a waste of time. It gave a bunch of guys experience that may not even be on this roster next year. Josh McCown's probably not going to be on this roster in a year. Who knows? It really made me feel that the Eagles needed Nick Foles all along, and that's not even saying that Nick Foles needs to be the starter. The Eagles just need someone to back up Wentz, because Wentz he's an accident waiting to happen when it comes to injuries. Again, I don't say this to slight the guy. I don't think Wentz is a bad guy or a bad player. I just think he's going to be one of those guys that has an injury problem, like a Marcus Mariota type guy. That's what I'm seeing out of him. And just to see him go down in the playoff game, that's really why I'm not mad, because like the enthusiasm just kind of left me in that moment. It was like, and of course it was Jadeveon Clowney. Guy's a freaking scumbag. He tried to take Nick Foles out of the game last season when we played him against the Texans. So, makes sense. It was a dirty hit, a no-call dirty hit. He hit his head and slammed into the ground. It was easily a concussion. We already know what it was, but and again, I don't know if the league doesn't let you play through this kind of stuff or what. I don't know the rules, but all I know is Zach Ertz was out there with fractured ribs. So why the hell was Wentz going into the freaking tunnel, not playing? Beyond me. But again, I'll make a video on that later, and regardless of what happens with that, it's disappointing that Wentz was not able to get playoff experience. And, beating the Giants and the Redskins and the Cowboys doesn't really look all that impressive now when it comes down to it, because they just lost draft picks. Bottom line. They're going to be in like the 20s now because they had a winning season. Meanwhile, Dallas is going to fire their coach. They're going to get better. The Redskins are already going to get better with Ron Rivera. Whoever the Giants hire, I don't know. The NFC East is going to be different next year, where the Eagles are going to be largely the same, and there's a lot of tape on this team now. Next season's going to be Doug Peterson's 5th year in the league, guys. That's a long time. So, I don't know. He made the playoffs, again, congrats. I'm not saying I'm mad they got to the playoffs, but, I kind of expected this. I didn't expect Wentz to get injured, though. That's really the thing that's annoying here. Even if they lost, if Wentz would have played the whole game, I would have felt just a lot better about this than I did. And, shout out to McCown, too. I know he might not be here next year, but that dude played his heart out. That guy's a 40-year-old, and he played really well for what he had. The Eagles didn't really prep him. You could tell he was kind of thrown in there. It's kind of why you needed a Nick Foles, because Nick Foles already kind of was the guy that was made for a situation like today, but they went with what they had, and, you know, they gave it their all. Doug Peterson went for a 4th down play that, you know, whatever. Miles Sanders dropped it. I can't really fault Doug for being Doug. Overall, the Seahawks were just a better team, guys. That's really what it is. Shout out to the Seahawks. You know, we can't beat you. The Philadelphia Eagles cannot beat Seattle. Until the Eagles beat them one day, one year, the curse will continue. The only loss that I can think of that's worse than this was when I think we had like 5 straight losses to the Redskins during the Chip Kelly days. And then they finally broke that at the end of 2016. So the Seahawks still, they own us. I mean, they do. They own the Eagles. We can't really say much about them. I do hate the Seahawks. I've always really hated them because of how they blew that Super Bowl to the Patriots. But when it comes to the Eagles, I can't talk crap because they own us. So anyway, that's kind of just my quick thoughts. You know, I don't have a whole lot to say right now. I'm probably going to make another video during this week to kind of give my thoughts on the upcoming offseason, what the Eagles are going to do. You know, I don't know. We don't even know what happened with Wentz yet. I don't know what his injury is. So I'm probably going to chill out for the rest of the day, make another video tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But anyway, guys, the Seahawks beat the Eagles in the wild card round. One and done. That is what the Philadelphia Eagles are in 2019. But let me know what you guys think about this game. What you guys think about Wentz. If you agree or disagree with me, whatever, I'd like to hear from you guys. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And to any returning viewers, make sure that you are actually subscribed and you hit that notification bell. But with that said, guys, this has been Jigsaw0097. Like I always say, it's either fly, Eagles fly, or it's die, Eagles die. And today, it's bye, Eagles bye. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you later.